Hello, this is Workbench episode number 10. I'm Seth Werkheiser along with Bill Meese, two people who work in music and love technology, sharing our nerdy knowledge to help make your work easier and more manageable. Hello, Bill.
What is up, Seth? What is up?
Well, the tables have turned in this past week. You've been the one that's traveling.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I'm used to hearing about your adventures. With the Greyhound bus line and all the weather that comes along with that.
Sure. Where in the world is Seth Werkheiser? But this week that was you.
Yeah, we went down to Austin, Texas for the South by Southwest music extravaganza, and it was good. I only threw up once. Which was from an Oreo cookie funnel cake that I ate as fast as I could, and maybe followed it with a few adult beverages, which resulted in the expulsion of said funnel cake.
Yeah, results may vary, but yeah.
It was good going in, man.
Oh, I bet.
So that was cool. Saw a lot of metal bands.
Yeah.
Walked a lot. Thanks. Shout out to Fitbit for keeping track of my steps. I walked about, I think about 30 miles, but it felt like 300. So
right, a lot of hard pavement there in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I had a little bit of travel adventures with an airline I will not mention, and
they're not a sponsor, are they?
Not at all, and no. I don't want them to be now.
Good.
Just a quick story. Me and my coworker were across the hall at a restaurant having dinner within earshot, an eye shot of the gate, and we saw people start to line up, and we decided not to partake in the mad dash and the mad rush to the bottleneck into the plane. So we waited until most people were gone, and once we saw that, we get online, and I say about 3 or 4 people ahead of me got their ticket clicked or scanned, and I get up to the gate and I see them close the doors, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me! What is this? Oh, sorry, sir. It's 10 minutes before takeoff. We're closing the doors. I won't get specific as to what I said next.
Sure.
But it was passionate. Let's say.
Yeah. Well, you're not doing this podcast from jail, so that's good.
No, I'm not.
This isn't your one call.
Yeah, and to make a long story short, they had a whole bunch of people on standby, and as soon as that 10-minute mark clicked in, anyone who wasn't already checked into the flight, they gave our seats away. And so I made a very colorful argument in a very heavy New York accent and tone.
Nice.
That, I had a ticket for that flight, and they should let me on. And lo and behold, they had to put, and I was with a coworker, and we were with 2 or 3 other people, and they actually had to pull these poor souls off the plane to let us on. And for as crazy or as passionate, let's say, as I was, the folks that got pulled off the plane were a lot more passionate than I was. Let's just say that.
They didn't have tickets, though.
Exactly. Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, they.
So yeah, I don't know. How was your week? Did you almost get tasered by the TSA?
What? No. No, nothing. What? Wait, what was that TSA thing?
I said that you didn't get tasered by the TSA.
No, I stay far and clear of that nonsense.
Well.
Yeah. No, things were fine. Oh, no, I think this past week I witnessed a shooting here in town.
All right, you win. I thought Mike's story was crazy.
Yeah, I was walking down to my local Starbucks, and around the corner I hear yelling. And when you hear yelling, and it's like that kind of passionate yelling, like, whoa, something's going on. So I was like, oh, boy, I can't wait to get up to the corners, look down, and see what's happening. I made it 2 more steps, and I heard 3 loud pops. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, maybe, some firecracker. Then I heard a car take off down the street, like right in front of me at the end of the block.
Isn't it interesting how we always just assume that it's firecrackers, like we give humanity the benefit of the doubt?
Even with the yelling, I was like, oh, there's yelling, firecrackers.
They're just yelling and throwing firecrackers. It's probably harmless fun.
Nope. Well, it was all those years living in Brooklyn, man. You heard loud pops, and if you didn't hear anything after that, that's okay.
Firecrackers.
Right. But, man, you hear a car peeling off? Yeah.
Yeah, not firecrackers.
Yeah, it turns out it was an undercover or a parole officer approaching a drug dealer, an alleged drug dealer in a car. Alleged. And the car took off and drugged the cop, down the street, and the police officer discharged his weapon 3 times. And the car sped away. He got away. He was caught, but yeah, that happened this week.
Wow. Yeah. Well then. Episode 10, starting off on a positive note.
We are in double digits.
That's crazy, man. Thank you for everyone who's been listening for this long. If you made it this long, kudos. Internet fist pound to you.
Yeah. Right for the long haul. Sorry about we had a technical issue this past week.
Oh, that's right, we did. I'd like to thank the amazing Wi-Fi of the Hilton hotel chain.
Oh, I bet.
That provided me with the Zumba juice to power my internets to upload the episode, and apparently that did not go so well. So yeah, thank you, Hilton.
But we got that taken care of, and we'll do better next time.
At South by this year, McDonald's had a very large presence. Because when I think of alternative counterculture,
technology,
breaking new ground with new ideas, I think of McDonald's.
Well, yeah, and everybody at your label at your day job, they all meet at McDonald's for lunch and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, some do, but I won't name them. But anyway, McDonald's had a giant tent where youngsters were eating Big Macs and French fries, which I'm presuming was ironically.
Right.
But they looked like normal McDonald's foods to me. Anyway, I could pick up their Wi-Fi signal, because of course there's a Wi-Fi signal coming from McDonald's tent in Austin, and it was aptly named Wi-Fry. So when the episode was all bamboozled, I said, well, I'm within Wi-Fi shot of this thing. Let me give this network a try.
And Wi-Fi worked?
No such luck.
Okay.
I don't know if they hand out a Wi-Fi password when you get free chicken McNuggets.
Man, come on, McDonald's. You could have been a part of this cutting-edge podcast thing that we're doing.
In a McDonald's, in a very fancy tent, which is essentially in a parking lot by the highway in Austin. But yeah, no dice. But yeah, we got it working, so sorry if anyone was off-put by that. I'm sure it ruined your day, and
you want your money back. I understand. Yeah.
But anyway, episode 10, we're going to get into something that's pretty important, especially these days, as we become more connected and more entrenched in the web, and that's password security, and more specifically 1Password. And I don't know about you, but I guess we're talking about 1Password because it's something that we both use.
Yep.
And I've used a lot of them over the years, and there really isn't one better right now, in my opinion, at least for what I'm using it for.
Well, and yeah, I was always reluctant to use one because I was always afraid I'm going to use it, somehow I'm going to forget it, or this, that, or the other, and I'm going to be locked out of my stuff.
Right, yeah, and that's a common fear.
Yeah.
That people have when they do this kind of stuff, like, well, okay, great, my stuff is secure, but what happens when, the internet gremlins, eat through those wires?
Right.
But anyway, we're going to talk about 1Password, and I've been using it. I guess I've known about it forever, but I never wanted to plunk down the money for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if you remember when iOS 8 came out.
Mm-hmm.
They gave 1Password away for free on iOS.
Yeah, that's when I got it.
Yeah, and that kind of introduced that.
Yep.
That broke through the barrier of me realizing how completely awesome this is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I downloaded it on iOS, which is on my iPad and my iPhone, and then I downloaded it on my Mac as a free trial. And I think it was a 30-day trial. And throughout the 30-day trial, I loaded up every password I could think of. And it wasn't until I uploaded all my passwords that I realized how many I had.
Oh, so many.
Like, I think when I uploaded my 50th password, I was like, wow, I need this way more than I think I do.
Right. And it's interesting too. Like I downloaded it, onto my iPhone, and to just test it out, to try it out, I was like, well, let me do it with something that's not life or death for me. So I did it with my my Bandcamp password. As I buy music on there or whatever like that, you can have a fan account, and so I did it with that, and it worked fine. I was like, oh, okay. So I definitely, if you're hesitant about it, just start out with something small, something simple. And again, it's not gonna like mess it up so bad that you're gonna be locked out of everything. But just baby steps.
Right, and I like their MO. It's a 21st century digital wallet, no paper required.
Right.
And I've actually heard of that. I've heard of people using this, and not needing to carry around more than one credit card or any credit card.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, the only time you actually need a credit card is when you're physically swiping something. So,
yeah.
If you're, buying something online, you don't need to whip out your card.
True.
If you use 1Password, whether it's one credit card or 50, they're all in there.
Right.
And
all that info.
Yeah, all the info you need to make a purchase is right there.
That's true. Wow, I didn't even think of that. I did put one of my debit cards in there, which I find handy for when, you're lounging around, long day, you're in bed, you got your laptop, and you want to buy something. And your wallet is, all the way at the other end of the bedroom. And but with 1Password, you got that stuff right in your phone, which, of course, never leaves your side. And you can purchase away.
Wow, that's like lazy personified.
Yeah, totally. You just spoke of security. I just spoke of the lazy part.
Right, we're hitting it from all angles in this episode.
Absolutely.
All the priorities.
Yeah. And we tested out something this week because I never had a reason to do it, but I sent you a password.
Oh, the shared password. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, it's you're able to share passwords among 1Password users.
Yep.
So, for instance, the hosting site that we use for this show, that's a login that I want both myself and Seth to have.
Yep.
So, I guess we could put that password in our each individual 1Password accounts.
Oh, totally. But if when we set this up, if we would have done it, if I would have set it up first in 1Password, then I could have just sent it to you. Be right. One less email, I guess. Or no, it did email you. Never mind.
It's actually one more email.
Yeah, it's true. But you clicked on it and it opened up 1Password and added it, right?
Yeah, it did.
Cool.
But this is available on Mac, Windows, iOS, and Android. So basically everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not, I think, isn't the iOS still free? I haven't checked recently.
I haven't checked. I know definitely the desktop one you have to pay for. I paid for it. I'm fine with that.
I'm still getting by without it, believe it or not.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because you can input passwords in the iOS version, and it syncs, and it syncs all through Dropbox, I believe.
Right. Yeah, and since it's on your browser extension.
Right.
That's another neat thing to explain is that when you go to a site, what you do is you can you just hit the little extension button on your browser, and it'll log you in. So right. there's like the username and the password thing. You hit the button, slide down to your account. Because if you have a couple, like myself, I have a couple Twitter accounts. I have like 1,800 Gmail accounts. So whatever one you want to log into, that gives you a little drop down menu. You click that, and it like automatically puts it in, and it hits enter for you, and you're logged in.
Right.
So to your point, if you're putting them in on iOS, that's synced right into your browser.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And if you don't want to use the extension, because I personally don't like extensions if I can help it.
Sure.
Because those are some of the most vulnerable areas to your security online.
Oh.
So I use the menu bar feature.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it looks like a little keyhole.
Yep.
And you click it, put your master password in, and it drops down. You can copy and paste any login that you have. And what's really cool about that is that it only copies to your clipboard for a set period of time.
Yes.
And I think I have mine set up for like a minute. So, I mean, everyone has had those copy and paste nightmare moments where you meant to copy and paste a piece of text from an email or something else, and you end up copying and pasting your dinner order you just texted your wife. Because that never happened to me.
No, or your credit card information.
Exactly. So
there you go.
It only stays on your clipboard for about a minute, I think.
Yeah.
Right now, if you go to, and just to back up a second, this is made by a software company called Agile Bits. And you can check them out at agilebits.com. And we'll put that in the show notes.
Yep.
But if you're on a Mac and you just want a single license, they're actually running a St. Paddy's Day sale right now where you can get it for $34.99, which I might take advantage of if they keep running that for another couple days.
Yeah.
Just to get myself, because it's normally $50.
Yep.
And one tip I always try to tell people with pieces of software that handle this kind of stuff, like any kind of software that's going to handle your personal data, or something that's not just editing photos or something simple, try and buy it directly from the developer themselves instead of the Mac App Store, or any App Store, even though it's available in the Mac App Store and you'll get updates automatically. If you buy it directly from the company, I don't know, I may just be superstitious, but I feel like you're better set up for upgrade packages, or customer service, or pretty much. And
that's how we did it years ago.
Yeah. Exactly right.
You actually bought from the company. Yeah. Do you have any experience with the vaults?
Not specifically, since I'm still just operating off of one vault.
That's true. Yeah.
But
you could set up vaults for coworkers and stuff, right? Is that what it would entail?
Yeah. Multiple vaults means multiple uses. I'm not going to try and go into it because I really haven't used it that much, but yeah, multiple vaults is one of their biggest features.
Yeah. We should try to do something with that.
But
maybe we'll start up a Workbench vault.
Yeah, well, I think I have to buy it first because it's one of the premium features.
Well, I bought it, so maybe I can set it up. I don't know.
But you can put in anything in here,
yes.
Not just credit cards. You can put in social security numbers, passports, anything really. I mean, I have everything from my library card in there to my, my son's birth certificate info.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say one of the big reasons this is out there and why this is important is for a lot of us, passwords tend to have a lot of the same password that we use over and over again on different websites. And that really is a big no-no because, and it's not so much like, oh, someone's going to guess it. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, because if your 1Password that you remember all the time, dogface123,
crap, I gotta change that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But if that's your Gmail address, Gmail's robust and no one can hack that. But if someone hacks, the Corvette forum that you frequent and they get your password there, they hack it and they somehow find a bunch of passwords. They can use that password and just like, and I guess this is how hackers do it, but they try it on all these different services, hoping that you use the same password everywhere. So the big thing with 1Password is it helps you go through and set up new passwords on all these different sites. So if one site is hacked, all your other stuff is safe.
Whenever I think about hackers trying to guess passwords,
yeah,
I don't know. I just watched that movie, The Imitation Game, which is about Alan Turing and his Enigma machine cracker in World War II.
Yeah.
I just picture this giant number crunching machine that they're just dying to get into my Planet Fitness membership info.
Right? They are, but it's a matter of if they get into that and they have your password, they're going to try that password everywhere. So,
right. And one of the main points of 1Password and one of the main features is that it has a password generator built in.
Yep.
And you can make passwords anywhere from five characters to 50, I think.
Yeah, they're bonkers.
Yeah, it's really bonkers. So all my 1Password passwords, I don't know them. Right. I don't know that. I just know my master password, and I know what I put in there. So if someone were to kidnap me to ask me for my own Facebook password, I wouldn't even know.
Because that's important stuff. People want to get into your Facebook, but you can literally say, "I don't know it."
Right.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be lying, and that's the point.
And the master password thing is fun. There's a lot of really neat blog posts out there. We'll probably link up one or two in the show notes. But, to come up with, it's not a matter of, using the number 3 for the letter E. But, I don't know, I've just been seeing a lot of, no, it's all about 4 completely random words and like a phrase, 4-word phrase.
So I shouldn't use the spaceball rule of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, don't use password or
monkey or love.
So it's really and there's a couple websites out there that will give you they'll randomly give you numbers which match up with words and this and that. But the thing is you want to then have that completely random phrase for your master password.
Right, and if nothing else, if none of this interests you, at least use something like, I think it's called Strong Password Generator. Google it. It's there. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
I used that pretty heavily before I used this.
Yeah. And
I would just keep them on a text file on my machine.
Nice.
And that was my own version of 1Password. But that worked pretty well for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we went over the iOS stuff. We went over the Strong Password Generator.
Yep.
I like on their site it says every password is a unique snowflake.
and seriously, check out the 1Password website. They put up a new video. I think it's new, but it's a fantastic video describing everything we just talked about.
Right. Team members. So it works across all devices. We went over that.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah.
All right, you know what? I saw something too. Someone that because if you're ever on a different computer, you don't have 1Password. Then
I deal with that at work, and it bums me out.
Yeah, well, there's a hack, I guess.
Really?
That you could find the file in your folders somewhere on the computer, and you could drag it onto a thumb drive. And then what that does is on a different computer, you open up that thing on a thumb drive. It's an actual HTML page with your 1Password. It's all HTML driven.
I've just been bringing them up.
Computer.
Yeah, I've just been bringing them up on my iPhone and typing in my passwords.
And I've done that, and it's horrible.
It is horrible, especially if you have a 35, character password that represents
3 lowercase x l dash 4. Right. Oh.
It's like typing in Sanskrit.
Yeah, it's bad news. But that's the one thing. I find myself every now and again on a different computer, and I'm like, I'll just log into. No, I won't. I don't know my password. So
I'm sure there's a fix out there we're missing. So if you know it, please email us at hello@workbenchpodcast.com.
Yeah.
If there, I've spoken about the Mac Power Users podcast on this show before, and they have done 2 in-depth drill downs on 1Password that kind of trumps what we're doing here, because they're a show that's geared a little bit more advanced,
sure,
or we're at least a show that gears maybe a little bit more for the beginner,
the power user. Yeah,
right. But
that's all right.
But they did one when it first came out, back in 2010, which is, I would say, irrelevant at this point.
Sure.
But they did one last year, last January, which is still pretty old, but I would definitely recommend checking it out. We'll put that in the show notes also. Yeah.
And again, a lot of the times we do these, it's, hey, we use it and it works for us, so maybe you can start using it too, see how it works in your workflow, and, kind of go from there.
Yeah, it's not to say there's other ones out there that don't work. I was using LastPass for a second, and I just couldn't do it because it kind of installs itself onto your browser and just creates one more thing to look at, and it was just kind of bumming me out. Yeah.
No, but I like it. 1Password. it's something I use 100 times a day, really. So, yep.
And they have a really cool blog and a really, really cool help center that enables you to, like, if you get stuck somewhere or have a question, it's really easy to fix whatever you're trying to troubleshoot.
Yeah, cool.
You got anything else?
No, that's it for me, man.
All right, let's put this one in the oven.
Yeah. That is our show, episode 10. Thank you for hanging out with us into the double digits. Visit us at workbenchpodcast.com, and you'll see links to everything we talked about and a whole bunch more.
And if you haven't subscribed to the show on iTunes, I think you should do that because it really helps the show.
And you can write a review.
Yeah, write a review. It helps the show.
Yeah, helps us get found. And if you have any questions, comments, follow-up, you can find either Bill or I on Twitter. You probably know where we are there. Or you can email us at hello@workbenchpodcast.com.
Awesome. Hey, Seth.
Yo.
Later, buddy.
Later.